at all.
How are you doing today? It's your boy Chris Harris, and welcome to another episode of Open Doors. I'm so thankful, I'm so appreciative that you took the time to check out this podcast and check out this episode. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now, because as the days go by, we're dropping episode after episode, and we don't want you to have to search because the episode will come right to you. So hit that subscribe button. Also share this podcast, share this episode, and hit the like button. All right. I have something I want to talk to you about today. It's a product. Many of you probably know about this product already. Apple has dropped this new product, and I want to discuss it because there are some things that I don't like about it. All right, and I want us to discuss it. But the first thing I want to do, I want to play this short video clip for you.
Dreamer, you're nothing but a dreamer. Well, can you put your hands in your head? Oh no, I said dreamer. I said what a day for you, and life it is.
I miss you so much.
Wailing up your hat and coming to you.
Toast.
So Apple has dropped this new product. As you see, Apple actually has a 9-minute video where they go through instruction on how to use this product. So what it is it's these goggles, and they say it's the goggles are a blend of a real world environment and a computer generated environment. But if you look at the video, especially the one on Apple, I didn't play that one, but it's a 9-minute one on instructional. You can watch movies on with these goggles. You can it can actually be like an office for you. As you work from home remotely, wherever you work, you can use that to check emails, to do voice calls, or Zoom calls, or whatever you do as far as your day-to-day work at your particular job, as well as any other thing like a cell phone, texting, and anything else. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And here's the reason why I don't like it. And I want you to think about where we are today in our society. We're so into our cell phones now. The cell phone craze, the cell phone mania. We're slaves to our cell phones. We definitely are. And I'm guilty of it myself. Think about the evolution of the cell phone, right? I remember back in the day, I probably didn't get a cell phone till maybe I was like my senior year in high school. Now, babies come out the womb with cell phones. But just think about all that we do with cell phones. Just the evolution of it, because even back then when we got our cell phone, you remember all we did, we talked to people. It wasn't that much that we could do on the device. We talked to people. We couldn't even talk, all day because our free minutes, remember our peak minutes, our free minutes, at first I think it was like after 9 o'clock. You had to wait till 9 o'clock. Then they bumped it down to 7 p.m. So you really couldn't talk to your friends. If you were dating someone, you really couldn't talk to that person until after that moment, that time when your peak minutes were there. And it cost, if you went over your minutes, if you called somebody before those peak minutes, the amount of money you would have to pay. But the evolution of the cell phone just grew and grew and grew and grew to where we are today. Now we can't live our lives without our cell phones. Everywhere I turn, this is what I see, and I brought mine. A cell phone, I see a cell phone, and I see earpods. Everybody has a cell phone, everybody has earpods. And we can't live our life without cell phones. Some of us, if we have to go to work, and let's say our job is 30 minutes away from our home, if we get halfway to our job and we remember that we forgot our cell phone, some of us would turn back and go get our cell phone. Someone will risk being late to work to go get our cell phones. Or imagine leaving your cell phone at home when you go to work. You feel like you just got cut off from the rest of the world. A lot of us feel that way. We feel like our day is shot because we don't have our cell phones, because we can't text people. We're missing calls. There's so much that we do with ourselves. Our life revolves around our cell phones. What we do? Most of us, we don't even talk on the cell phone. We text. Most people do more texting than calls. But we watch movies on our cell phones. We play games on our cell phones. A lot of us do our shopping. We order our food on our cell phone. We order our rides, our Uber rides and Lyft rides on the cell phones. We pay our bills. A lot of us our wallet, our credit card, our debit card is on our cell phone. You have your Apple Pay, your Google Pay, and a lot of you do Venmo or Cash App, whatever you do. So our life, even the more I talk about it, we're slaves to our cell phone. We become like cell phone zombies. Everything is tied to our cell phones. So this product, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, because it feels like society is pushing us far and farther away from each other, because we were created to socialize with each other. A lot of times when I go to work, I take public transportation. I take the train or take the bus, whatever I do. But I look around a lot of times and everybody has their cell phone and they have their earpods. A lot of times people put their earpods on when they leave and work. They don't even want to be bothered. I do it myself sometimes. That's why I said this topic right here, I'm guilty of it sometimes myself, because a lot of times you put your earpods in and you're going to the train, and when you get on the train or you're walking somewhere, you don't want to be bothered. You're listening to your music, you're watching a video. A lot of us, we're on social media all the time. We're looking at a TikTok video, we're looking at an Instagram reel, we're reading a text and we're responding to a text or a group chat. We're searching the internet. We're doing all these different things, but socializing with each other. Now, some of you may say, well, we're on social media, but is social media the actual socializing we're supposed to be doing? I'm not knocking social media, but a lot of times, what are we doing on social media? We're watching a video. We're watching a reel. And a lot of times we're socializing with someone. Yeah, we're typing something in. We're not actually communicating with someone, verbalizing with someone, being in front of someone. And that's how we've been created. That's how we've been wired by God. We've been wired to be connected with each other. I was doing some research. And this is from the Mayo Clinic. And they were saying that socializing with people and connecting with people has health benefits. It's good for our mind. It's good for our mental health. It's good for us physically, emotionally. Have you ever been out with someone? And this has happened to me before. Sometimes I'm going through something, right? Or sometimes I just feel down. Maybe I feel, bad about something that happened. But just being around someone, talking to that person, laughing with that person, is medicine sometimes. You forget the problems that you had. You forget the things that you have to deal with. Maybe when you get home, you forget the things that you had to deal with at work. Just being able to talk to someone. And sometimes it can be strangers. Sometimes a stranger start a conversation with me, or I'll start a conversation with a stranger, and the problems that I was thinking about or the ordeal that I was dealing with, it left me. So communicating with each other and socializing with each other is something that we have been built with. God created us to be that way, to be a community, to connect with one another. But with these cell phones, we're connected to the cell phone. We don't talk to people. I remember one day I was on the train and I looked around. I just happened to look around, and every person on the train, there may have been about 10 to 12 people on the train. Every person on the train had their cell phone, and they were in their cell phone, and they had their earpods. Nobody was talking to one another. Nobody was talking about the weather with each other, talking about politics with each other, talking about sports. No, everybody was in their cell phone, just by themselves, doing their own thing. And that's not how we've been created. That's not. So I don't like this. I don't like this because I feel like the more products that come out like this, it's just pushing us further and further away from each other. Can you imagine these goggles? People would be walking around with these goggles. If you see the video, you have to like use your hands. So you can imagine people walking down the street, doing this, doing this, doing that. Somebody's going to get hit by a car. Somebody's going to trip over a curb. You can see a bunch of people walking down the street. Imagine a year from now, people having this device and they're doing this as they walk down the street, a busy street, and they're, let me pull this, let me do this, and cars are coming by, the distractions that will happen, all because people are so engrossed in this device. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's $3,500, and I'm sure the price will go down. I'm sure the price will go down, and I imagine a lot of people are going to get this product. But here's the thing: where does it stop? Where does it stop? Because I'm sure this is Apple, right? So I'm sure Samsung is going to come out with their version. I'm sure that Google is going to come out with their version. And from there, it's going to be more type of products just like that, more products just like that down the line, where it just pushes us to be by ourselves, to not socialize. We were meant to socialize. When COVID happened, when we had the pandemic and a lot of the kids were at home. They were at home, remote e-learning. When they happened to come back to school, there was a lot of problems. There was a lot of chaos because they weren't used to being around each other because they had been isolated by themselves. They would talk or they would listen to their teacher via a tablet, a laptop, but they weren't around each other to socialize. And that's what we've been created to do. So when it came time to come back to school, there were a lot of problems. There were a lot of fights. People didn't know what to do. And I feel like society in a whole is the same way because you see people, they don't know how to communicate with each other. We're losing our humanity because we're so involved in self. Society is just pushing us away to isolate by ourselves. Because we think, on this device, I got everything I need. I can watch my movies on this device. I can shop on this device. Now these devices, you don't even have to go buy a camera because your device, your phone has a world-class camera on it. So everything that I can pay bills on this device. I think I don't have a Tesla. I don't have one of those electric cars, but I think you can access those cars with your device. You can do everything with your device. So a lot of people I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to go anywhere. I can stream. I can do all these things. But what it's doing is just isolating us by ourselves. And that's not what was meant to be. That's not how God created us. That's not. We're already there with the cell phones. Even in my house, I have to put the law down with my kids because my kids are so obsessed a lot of times with the cell phone. In families now, families used to sit down at the dinner tables and talk for dinner. How was your day? What's going on in school? Let's talk about life. If there was issues in the family, they were dealt with at the dinner table. But now, if families even make it together to the dinner table, everybody's on their cell phone. My kids try to pull that in my house too. I say, no, turn the cell phone off. I know some families, they even take cell phones away. When there is a social gathering and people come in with cell phone, oh no, put the cell phone in the box. Oh, I got a safe here, put the cell phones here, because you're at a party and you're on your cell phones. I see people, they're at a party and everybody at the party is on their cell phone. You're together though. You're together at a party, supposed to be socializing at a social event, but you're on your cell phones. Nah. But that's the way they're pushing us. That's the way they're leading us to isolate and be by ourselves. But we were not meant to be alone. So I don't like it. Now the graphics look cool. I could see watching a movie on that, being at home watching a movie on that. But nah, I can leave it, because it's something that's pushing us further and further away from who we are. We're losing our humanity. We're losing our communication with each other. We're losing that relational part of ourselves when it comes to each other. But what's your take on the topic? Because yeah, it looks nice. The graphics is cool, but I'm looking at it from a different angle, and I feel like it's just tearing us and pushing us further apart. So talk to me. Maybe you have a different opinion on it. Maybe you think I'm making too much of it. I'm going too far with it. I would love to get your perspective on it. Share it in the comments. Don't forget to share this episode. Before I get out, I just want to give my shout out to the Dream Team, Blessed Dreams Production, my boy Alfred, and Eyes Have Not Seen, my sister Marilyn. Don't forget to connect with me on Instagram. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will be seeing you the next time around when we drop another episode. God bless you and have a great day.
Don't ever take nothing for granted, man. Hey, you gotta wake up and realize